Welcome back to African Tales, and today we are diving into the rich storytelling tradition of Igbo people of Nigeria. Have you ever wondered why roosters trot around so proudly with their bright red crowns? Well, the Igbo people have a beautiful explanation for this in their folktale, How the Cock Got His Crown. Before we begin our story, let me share some fascinating background. This tale comes from the Igbo people, one of the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria, primarily found in southeastern region. Igbo folktales like this one have been passed down orally for centuries, serving as more than just entertainment. They were and still are powerful tools for teaching moral lessons, preserving cultural values, and explaining the natural world around us. Many of these stories were first documented by colonial administrators and anthropologists in early 1900s, including collectors like Elphinstone Darrell in 1910 and N.W. Thomas between 1909 and 1915. However, it's important to remember that these tales existed long before they were written down. They are part of an ancient oral tradition that continues to thrive today. Now, let's travel back to a time when animals could speak and the world was still young. This is a folklore story, a tale that explains why things are the way they are. So gather around and let me tell you how the humble cock earned his magnificent crown. Long, long ago, when the world was still young and animals could speak as clearly as you and I, there lived a cock who was quite ordinary in every way. His feathers were plain brown and grey, his voice was unremarkable, and his appearance was, well, forgettable. In those days, all the birds of the air served under the great Sky King, who ruled from his palace high above the clouds. The Sky King was known for his wisdom, his justice, and his magnificent crown, a crown so beautiful that it sparkled like the morning sun and glowed like fire. Now, every year, the Sky King will hold a great contest. He will present a challenge to all the creatures of the earth, and whoever succeeded will be granted one wish, anything their heart desired. This particular year, the challenge was announced by the great eagle, the Sky King's messenger. Hear this, all creatures great and small. The Sky King seeks the most selfless and brave among you. A terrible drought threatens the village of humans below. Their crops are dying, their wells are dry, and they face great suffering. Whoever can bring relief to these people, asking nothing for themselves, will be granted one wish by the Sky King. Many animals heard this call. The mighty elephant trumpeted, "I could bring water with my trunk," but then he thought of how tired he would become and decided against it. The swift antelope declared, "I could run to find water sources," but she worried about the dangers she may face and chose to stay safe. Then the clever monkey chanted, "I could climb to find fruits for the people," but he realized he would have to give up his own food and decided it wasn't worth it. But the plain little cock, who had been listening quietly, felt his heart stirred with compassion. He looked at the suffering humans and knew he had to act. "I may not be the strongest or the fastest," he said to himself, "but I must try to help." So the cock began his mission. First, he flew to the highest mountain peaks, where he had heard that clouds were born. Using his small but determined voice, he began to crow. Not his usual morning call, but a special song, a song of summoning. "Come clouds, come rain, the people need you. Please hear my call." For 3 days and 3 nights, the cock crowed without stopping. His throat became raw, his voice grew hoarse, but still he continued. Other animals laughed at him. "Foolish cock," they called. "What can your small voice do that our great strength cannot?" But the cock didn't listen. He had faith and he had love for the suffering people. On the 4th morning, something miraculous happened. The clouds moved by cock's selfless dedication and pure heart. The clouds began to gather. They grew thick and dark, heavy with the rain the earth desperately needed. Then, with a great rumble of thunder, that shook the mountains, the rains came. They poured down in torrents, filling the wells, nourishing the crops, and bringing life back to the land. The people danced and sang with joy. The animals marveled at what the small cock had accomplished through his selfless determination. When the Sky King heard of Cock's deed, he was deeply moved. He summoned all the animals to his palace in the clouds. "Noble Cock," the Sky King announced, his voice echoing like gentle thunder, "you've shown that the size of one's heart matters more than the size of one's body. You asked for nothing, yet gave everything. Now, I grant you one wish. What do you desire?" The cock, still thinking of others, replied, "Sky King, I wish for something that will help me better serve others. If I am to wake the world each day, let me do it in magnificence, so that all who hear my call will be inspired to greet each new day with hope and purpose." The Sky King smiled, impressed by the cock's continued selflessness. "So be it," he declared. And with that, the Sky King reached up and took his own magnificent crown, radiant red like the sunrise, bold and beautiful, and placed it upon the cock's head. From this day forward, the Sky King proclaimed, "You and all your descendants shall wear this crown as a symbol of selfless service. Every morning when you call the world to wake up, you will remind all living creatures that each new day is a gift and an opportunity to help others." And so it was. From that day to this day, all roosters wear the beautiful red crown, and every dawn they call with pride, not pride in themselves, but pride in their role as servants of the new day. What a beautiful lesson this story teaches us. The cock's crown isn't just decoration, it's a symbol of service, selflessness, and the power of a determined heart. This tale reminds us that true greatness comes from serving others, not serving ourselves. It also showed us that small acts of compassion can have enormous impact, and that persistence and faith can move mountains, or in this case, clouds. The most beautiful rewards often come to those who don't seek them. In Igbo culture, stories like these weren't just entertainment, they were education, moral instruction, and cultural preservation, all wrapped into one powerful package. The Igbo people have always understood the power of storytelling. Their tales were traditionally shared by elders with younger generations during evening gatherings, passing down not just stories but values, wisdom, and cultural identity. Today, as we share these stories through modern media, we continue this ancient tradition of passing down wisdom through narrative. Every time we tell or retell these tales, we honor the rich cultural heritage of Igbo people and keep these important lessons alive for new generations. So, next time you hear a rooster crow in the morning, remember this tale. Remember that his proud red crown is a reminder that the greatest glory comes not from what we take, but from what we give. What do you think of this beautiful Igbo folktale? Do you know any similar stories from your own culture that teach lessons about selflessness and service? Share them in the comments below. I would love to hear them. If you enjoyed this journey into African storytelling, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more folktales from around the continent. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a story. Until next time, may your days be filled with wisdom of ancient stories and the joy of sharing them.